from the station that's on your side. This is News 12 at 6 o'clock.
A photo from a local school spirit event sparking outrage among parents in Millen.
And right now, a jury deliberating the fate of Sandra Dales, accused of murdering her husband. Plus, several suspicious fires, sending future plans for an Aiken business up in flames. These top stories in just a moment.
But first, an update to a heartbreaking shooting you will only see here on News 12. It's been 24 days since someone shot 13-year-old Buddy Brown in the back of the head outside of the Richmond Summit Apartments in downtown Augusta. Nearly a month later, we are now learning more details about who could have done this.
And tonight we've learned exclusively the man on the screen right here behind me is the prime suspect, according to the U.S. Marshals. He may be almost 600 miles away from Augusta in Baltimore. Will Rio has been tracking these developments for us today. So, Will, what else have you been able to find out?
Well, the U.S. Marshals Service says 30-year-old Gregory Thornton is the prime suspect in the shooting death of 13-year-old Buddy Brown. Now, Brown's family says a female is in custody right now, but Thornton is still on the run. On March 28th at around 3 in the morning, Augusta Dispatch receives this call.
911, do you take fire ambulance?
Ma'am, somebody just got killed in front of our building. We at 744 on Richard Summit. Somebody just shot this little boy. He's dead.
13-year-old Buddy Brown was shot in the back of the head after trying to get his DoorDash order from McDonald's at around 12:30 to 1 in the morning.
Now hurry up. This man is out here dead. This child is out here dead.
This shooting is taking investigators more than 600 miles away to find 30-year-old Gregory Thornton.
Law enforcement developed information that indicated he was up in Maryland. They sent the information to the United States Marshals Service and asked us for help.
Law enforcement believe Thornton fled back to this apartment complex with his girlfriend in Edgewood, Maryland, where he's from. A regional fugitive task force surrounded his apartment, but as agents moved in, Thornton showed up in this Camaro, which they say is the same one he left Augusta in.
The subject shows up in a black Camaro with racing stripes. As soon as law enforcement attempted to approach the vehicle, he took off and fled. He actually drove directly at one of the task force officers.
He led them on a high-speed chase. The pursuit was called off because it became too dangerous.
We have every reason to believe that not only he's armed and dangerous, but also that he's capable of great violence.
Thornton is still on the run.
You might come run and hide and dodge all you want, but that concert gonna eat you up no matter where you at. No matter where you at. Because every time you look around, you're gonna see my son in your face, and you're gonna think about it.
The Brown family says they know they'll get justice. It's just a matter of time.
So my son gonna get his justice. No matter what, he gonna get his justice. Yeah, that way he can rest in peace. And I'm gonna make sure that happens.
Now, the family tells me investigators say Buddy went downstairs to get his food from DoorDash while Thornton was trying to get into the building there. Buddy would not let him inside, and that's when Buddy was shot. It's still not clear who exactly shot Buddy that morning, so still a lot of questions in this investigation.
Just a random tragic event, it sounds like.
Really heartbreaking when you just see and hear how young he was.
Well, it was another beautiful afternoon for us with high temperatures hitting the 80s, and we do look for sunset tomorrow. Temperatures will be feeling a little bit cooler behind this front through the weekend. High temps will go from the 80s to the 70s, and we will get those mornings back down into the 40s. Here's a look at that day planner for tomorrow. Once again, cannot rule out an isolated shower storm for the first part of our Saturday, but most of the day does look fairly dry and seeing those clear skies once again before we do get to around 6, 7 o'clock tomorrow. We'll have a full update for you coming up in just about 10 minutes.
All right, thanks, Riley. Tonight at 6, the Jenkins County school system is apologizing for this photo that sparked outrage with parents. Students were challenged during Earth Week as part of an activity called Think Outside the Bag Day. That's to leave their backpack at home and carry their books in another container. After this picture was posted on a parent connection page on Facebook, calls and messages started flowing in. The superintendent did respond to parents, saying they formally apologize for those that were hurt and offended. They say they cannot take back what happened, but they can address the issue. Parents tell us someone at the school should have shut this down before a photo was ever taken or posted to social media.
Because it symbolized a black female with lashes, blonde hair, big lips, red lips, and the name what really stood out when they named it, Shaniqua. That's what really stood out and had a lot of us kind of wondering how could the faculty or the school allow this to happen before it even hit Facebook.
The superintendent says staff will take diversity and sensitivity training. Meanwhile, parents are pushing to have the topic moved to Monday's school board meeting to open the dialogue.
Here in Augusta, as we speak, a jury is deciding the fate of Sandra Dales. She's been on trial accused of killing her husband, Eddie Curry, and burying the body.
The state and the defense have arrested. If found guilty, Dales is facing life in prison with or without parole, on top of 10+ years for concealing the death of her husband. Our Hallie Turner is in court. She was there all day. Here's the latest.
The state was given 2 chances to speak on how Sandra had plans to kill Eddie and didn't have a second thought about it, while the defense had 1 chance to show how all of their evidence proves she has been struggling with domestic violence for years, and the reason she killed him was to protect herself.
She had that time to think about it before she revisited that. She clearly knew how to leave the home in the past. You heard all this testimony from this defense's 10 witnesses yesterday. The sister, she knew she could come here. She clearly knew how to leave and call law enforcement off people's phones anyways. I don't think I know that beating Mr. Curry to death was not the answer.
And the defense closed with hitting home, this is a system failure, and this cycle of domestic violence will continue with the innocent going to jail and no changes from higher powers.
Just about one desperate woman's struggle for survival. It is about the systemic failures of law enforcement to protect victims of domestic violence. And that is exactly what we saw in the state's case. Sandra had good people in her life. Good people who loved her and Eddie. But just having good people in your life is not enough to keep us safe.
So the jury started deliberating at 3:36 this afternoon. So they've been going for nearly 3 hours and there's still no verdict reached. But we are in the courtroom as we speak, and we will break in as soon as we hear the latest.
Also this evening, broken glass, charred wood, lingering soot, all the remains of one of those buildings at the Fermata Club. 4 days ago, the building was one of a series of suspicious fires that happened all across Aiken.
Earlier today, one man was arrested in connection to one of those fires, but is still a person of interest for the others. Our Nick Veland live at the Fermata Club, where they're trying to figure out what's next.
Yeah, Laura. The players has been trying.
We kind of don't have a home base now, so I don't really know what we're gonna do.
Dawn Belici started Soulshine Yoga and Wellness. Her base of operations was out of the Fermata Club in Aiken.
I use it every week. I built a clientele and a following there. I just felt like it was a really good space. It had a lot of charm.
But on Monday, when an arsonist set flames to the Fermata Club and 4 other locations in Aiken, business halted.
So it kind of feels a little bit like my business was also set to flames, to be honest with you.
The Aiken Department of Public Safety arrested Trevor Williams for one of the fires on Monday and is a person of interest in all 5. ADPS is not searching for the driver of this car. Dawn is just thankful that this happened before her yoga class on Monday morning.
Just the thought of us rolling up on some person who's capable of doing something like that is extremely disturbing.
The arsonist took out the back portion of the Fermata Club, which hits a little too close to home for Dawn.
I have 2 daughters that homeschool, so they often sit on that back porch and do their schoolwork while I teach.
And now it's thinking about rebuilding what took so long to get up and running.
I think that's going to take some time.
Nick Veland reporting it for us as Soulshine Yoga looks for a new place to operate. The Fermata Club says they're not sure yet what's next, but they are exploring some options, but we'll let you know when they come up with a plan. Well, Governor Kemp just signing a bill that would let voters decide if Augusta Mayor Garnett Johnson should have a vote in commission meetings. Right now, the mayor can only cast a vote to break a tie, resulting in some strategies among commission members that can keep the mayor from voting. That's what happened when an abstention during a commission meeting avoided a tie, also blocked Mayor Johnson from voting on that ambulance contract with Gold Cross. Augusta's mayor responding to this bill, saying in part here, this action will give us the ability to get things done for our constituents. Quoting here, I'm also excited this legislation allows the voters to make the ultimate decision. And voters in Augusta can settle that question on the May 24 primary ballot. Be looking for that question.
Showing and giving kindness to those who need it most. We show you after the break how the Georgia Cancer Center downtown is inspiring others.
And we do have a low chance to see a spotty shower or storm tonight through Saturday, but looking mostly dry this weekend. Much higher rain chances next week. We'll have a look at the full forecast just after the break.
Time. A quick calendar check. Not all fairs happen in the fall.
And this one has pretty great weather. A spring fair, Columbia County's fair, happening right now. 2 hours ago, the fairgrounds opened the gates, and as you can see, a lot of people are taking advantage. So all they need is a good forecast for the rest of the night, Riley.
And it's looking great out there if you are heading out to the Columbia County Fairgrounds. Temperatures right now still close to 80. We're only going to fall into the 60s later this evening, so not looking too bad whatsoever. Generally clear skies.
Riley, spreading kindness across the area and beyond. Every month, the Georgia Cancer Center downtown passes out kindness rocks to their patients.
Sarah Ransford is the Edgefield Rock Lady. She's behind this movement, and every month for the last 6 years, she's been sending over rocks. Our Will Vogt stopped by for the latest drop-off to talk with the center about what all this means to them.
Shayla Bussey says things can get overwhelming for patients at the Georgia Cancer Center downtown.
They're going through a lot already with the chemotherapy, with the various emotional stages of being diagnosed with whatever they're being diagnosed with.
She's been working here for 3 years. Ever since she started, she's noticed a special box of rocks coming in every month.
Our patients come and they're very eager to come here and to be able to get the rocks every visit. We have some patients who look for it every visit.
The rocks are painted with encouraging messages.
It makes it more tangible. You can connect with that, and the patients take that and they hold it during the treatments. They take it home.
Who's behind this?
I think kindness is what we need right now in this country more than anything ever.
Sarah Ransford, aka the Rock Lady. We introduced you to her last year. She paints and places rocks around Edgefield, and she also sends rocks here to the center, and they love it.
We love the Rock Lady. We really do. She is simply amazing.
In Augusta, Will Vogt on your side.
Sarah Ransford has sent thousands of rocks over the last 6 years to
People
our hospital.
from Florida, California, Oregon also sending rocks for this month's donation, but a pretty special ministry she has.
And she's absolutely right. And one of those rocks says, "This too shall pass." My mom used to say that all the time, raising me. So, good work there. Okay, he was a fixture on Augusta's political scene for decades, but that's just part of who Lowell Greenbaum was. A look at his life and career. Coming up next.
First of all, you have our word on it.
Earlier today, we told you about the loss of Dr. Lowell Greenbaum. He was the chairman of the Richmond County Democratic Party for 16 years.
From being an active member of Augusta's Rotary Club to the Augusta Canal Authority, also recognized by President Biden for his work in our community, our Taylor Martin takes a look back at Lowell Greenbaum's life.
Friends and family say he was a man of many accomplishments who considered the well-being of others in everything he did. Today, the Augusta community gathered to celebrate the life and legacy of Dr. Lowell Greenbaum.
He loved his community. He loved Augusta.
A loving husband, a proud father, and a loyal friend.
I mean, they'll remember him as a person who cared. The community mindedness reaches all facets, and a person who cared about what went on.
Leading a life of service, Dr. Greenbaum was a recipient of the Joe Biden Presidential Lifetime Achievement Award, the chair of the Richmond County Democratic Party for 16 years, and an advocate for women's rights in the LGBTQ community.
He was proud of Augusta for that he could voice his opinion on his politics and not get any kind of retribution.
Dr. Greenbaum lived in Augusta for 44 years and also served as an authority member for the Augusta Canal because he loved it so much.
I remember him by every time we came here, he wanted to do things, community-related museums or the canal or tours.
Through his advocacy, political work, and friendship, he will always be remembered.
He embraced the city, and apparently, after what I've seen today, it really embraced him.
Today, people who knew him say his long life of leadership was a job well done, and his family wants people to remember him as a man who truly loved Augusta. Reporting in Augusta, Taylor Martin, on your side.
Also tonight, Russia's war against...
Now, the Columbia County Fairs we mentioned is back. Those gates opened 2 hours ago. The fairgrounds filling in, giving you a live look around as everybody soaks in the good weather.
But know this, there's a big change this year. Parents, you should know that anyone under the age of 17 has to have an adult with them there at the fairgrounds. And you still have time to head out over to the park tonight. They close the gates at 11 o'clock. So it should be a perfect evening out there.
Also have 8 more days to enjoy all those funnel cakes before the fair heads out of town. All they need is good weather, Riley.
Yeah, and I would take advantage of the nice weather this weekend. The fair should remain completely dry Saturday and Sunday. Next week, we are tracking a little bit better rain chances, though. We'll have another look at that forecast just after the break.
News 12, voted best weather coverage by the Georgia Association of Broadcasters.
During the Rooms sale right now, only at Rooms to Go.
Breaking news out of Augusta, where a jury is just now reaching a decision on the fate of Sandra Dales. She's the woman accused of killing her husband and burying the body.
And we have a reporter in there as we speak. As soon as we get the information about that verdict, we're going to break in and let you know. But 1 count of malice murder, 1 count of felony murder, and 1 count for concealing the death of another person. That is what she's facing. And if she's found guilty, she's facing life in prison with or without parole on top of 10+ years for concealing the death. We'll keep you posted.
We have a reporter in the courtroom, and we'll have a verdict for you, if not here, at 7 o'clock over on NBC 26. Riley?
Well, remember, for the weekend outlook, we do have a low chance to see a spotty shower or storm on Saturday, mostly dry on Sunday, and we should stay fairly dry all the way through Tuesday morning. We are going to bring in a little bit better rain chances late into our Tuesday night through Wednesday and continue those rain chances through next Friday. This is going to be our setup this weekend, just bringing in this cold front. It's going to be breezy tomorrow. Cannot rule out that you see a brief shower or storm at some point, but most of the day does stay dry, so keep your outdoor plans for the weekend. Next week, though, it's looking pretty soggy again.
And again, our next live update, top of the hour, 7 o'clock on NBC 26.
Then we'll see you back for more News 12 at 11.